Welcome back. So as I said in the previous video, I was just basically going to go through a couple of screens to show you how to get started with the decisions that you have to make. So I'm going to start, but I want to do one more than the compensation and training that I showed you, and I want to work with you on the wholesale marketing screen because there's an extra piece to it that students easily miss. So when you're looking over in that, I'm in the wholesale marketing tab here. Um, when you're looking over in the far left, what your project performance you see in different measurements, and you see in blue here the decisions that you have the opportunities to make based on the market that you're in. So when we were looking at compensation and training, we saw that we weren't producing in Europe, Africa, and Latin America, but we are selling in those spaces. Therefore, we see different, we see them opened up here. So that's the difference there. And so in the blue, you see your price to retailers, and you've got your how much you're spending on advertising, your rebates, your delivery times, and your retailer support. So retailer support is what you pay to help the retailers market the product that you're putting into their store because you're a wholesaler. So if you think about Dick's or Academy, when you walk in and you might see Nike or Under Armour at the front of the store, or with cutouts of athletes or special signage or special shelving, all of that is the retailer support that you're providing to the store to help them sell more of your product versus other brands they're selling within that retail store. So it's a lot of random types of things, but that's the money you give them to help them support. So if you take that down, for example, you're supporting retailers last, which of course means you're less interested. And so all those decisions have to kind of be made in the context of your industry and your strategy. How much are you willing to support the retailers in order to increase sales? So in the last, so let me show then, if you're watching, let's just watch North America market for a moment. Let's say that we want to sell at $45. You can see now that our procurements come down because we're getting less revenue on over here. But if we take this brand advertising up a little bit, let's say we're going to do 13 million instead, and we move that around, we can see our return on equity over here moving as you play with these numbers, basically. So anyway, just as you go through here, you can see each decision and how they start impacting your projected performance. These start on page 28 in your player's guide. Again, go back to that decision, those decision pages, and really look at that. They go through each of those decisions to walk through and see what each one does, but you'll be able to get market share, things like that here. So the reason I want to make sure to go through this particular screen is when you scroll all the way to the bottom, sometimes students will miss rolling all the way to the bottom of this. There's, I star it here because it's competitive assumptions, and the entire simulation is based on the idea of the competitive assumptions that you're making. So I don't want you to miss it. So it's really important. It's not as important in this first practice rounds, but as you go forward into the later rounds, it becomes really important. So these are your competitive assumptions. The simulation is giving you your projections over on the far left based on how your decisions will factor into the industry. Now, the way that he gets the industry information is through these competitive assumptions. So in this, for the first year, this is saying, well, we think the wholesale price for the industry, the average is going to be $48. Well, that's what it was in year 10. Remember that we're starting in year 11. And so these assumptions automatically roll to what the prior year was. Okay. So if we said, though, we think that it's going to be $52 a pair, then that could change a lot. Or we think that everybody is going to spend less on advertising. That could change a lot. This is what do we think our competitors are doing or what the industry is doing. So these are going to change your results. So it's really important to set the screen that you have to do this on and make sure to go to the bottom and look at the competitive assumptions. This is the information. It's going to project your performance, and I just want to go through that, especially because a lot of times, again, students just don't scroll to the bottom of that screen. They think, okay, I've answered those blue decisions, so I'm done. It's really important on this page to look at your wholesale pricing and keep going down. I think that's really all. That if you start that and you do that on every single decision page each round, you're going to have a lot better feel for how to start the game. Once you and your co-managers decide what strategy you're going to use and how you're going to go forward, then you can just play it. You can save your decisions. You can save them multiple times during the week. You can save them and look at what your projections are and what your performance are. But here you can save it 1,000,000 times. But the final decision clicks over on the due date of the assignment. So every week I have set the Sunday night at 11:30 is the due date, and it will freeze your decisions. But until then, you can continue to make changes and do whatever you want to learn, to play with it, to look at what's happening, look at different scenarios. But at 11:30 on Sunday night, it will freeze your decision, and I cannot change that. So as a team, you have to be ready for that Sunday night at 11:30. So hopefully this was really helpful in getting you started on the simulations. If you have any questions, please email me or call me. Use my cell number. I'm also providing a link to my calendar and a Zoom link so we will meet throughout the semester with your team on Zoom, just your team and I. So you will have plenty of ways to reach me, but read the player's guide, play around with it, and use those practice rounds as really good experience. So thank you.